Hello and welcome. This video is going to be my reseller recap for the month of September. Yes, this video is a little late coming out, but you know, it took me a minute to get all the numbers together and also just to sit down and film it. So as per usual, I'm going to throw you over to Other Bob and she's going to give you the wall of accountability. Welcome to the wall of accountability, which to be fair, this month I have not been very accountable. I have somehow managed to be moderately successful, actually pretty successful this month, despite the fact that I have taken a big step back in my listing. I was basically just trying to keep up with listing the same number of things that sold the day before and not focusing so much on the additional value. So if you're new here, what I do is the blue numbers are the number of listings that I'm adding to my store, and it is going to be supposed to be equal to the number of listings that sold. So the green is sold, blue is listed, and then red is the number of items I've actually listed, because if I do it appropriately, like here, where I sold 7 the day before, and then I added 7 items back to my store, the reason I've listed 9 is because I've also added $104.74 in value. So I did not do a whole lot of value adding this month, and my store has definitely decreased in number because of that. But you know, I did keep up with a lot of it. So I sold 131 items this month, which is nice. I would like to get this to 150 at some point. I listed a total of 100 items, which is quite, that's like half of what I listed the month before. So this is for September. And yeah, that number looks sad. So I definitely have taken a big step back in listing. Thank you, Other Bob. So as you saw there, and as Other Bob said, I basically did half the work I did the month before, but spoiler alert, I actually did really well. I actually did better than the month before as far as sales go, and I definitely give that to the fact that, one, while I haven't been listing a bunch of new items for the month of September, I was very diligent about cross-posting, and I was very diligent about taking listings that were not performing well down and then selling similar or making some tweaks to them. So I sold almost the same amount of items, but I listed half as many items as I had done in August. And for those of you that are here for the net profit numbers, I hit my goal again. So that means that in Q3, I was able to hit my fixed expense goal of $13.50 every single month, but I'll get into my net profit towards the end. If you are new here, hello. I do actually give you guys all of my net profit numbers, and this is my first year full-time reselling. I am currently living off both my full-time reselling income money and the money I had set aside to try to be a full-time reseller. I did set aside enough money to live off of for a year in case this did not work out, and I have been using that money, especially because in October I went on a long distance vacation. So I gave myself a year to try to make this work, and Q3 is definitely making me feel like this is going to be something I can do. When I say my fixed expenses, I mean $13.50. That is my fixed expenses. So that's like making sure all of my regular bills are covered. So that's like my mortgage, my car insurance. I don't have a car payment. My car is paid off, so that's great. Also my HOA dues, like my utilities, that kind of stuff. Those I considered fixed expenses, as well as the amount of money I have to give the government. That's a fixed expense, and I have calculated that to be $1,350. And then what I'm trying to do is by the end of the year, so the end of the year for me, this being a year, like me trying to do this for a year, will be at the end of January. So hopefully by the end of January, not only am I consistently making what I need to make to do my fixed expenses, but also my variable expenses, which would be like food and gas, that kind of stuff. So just to give, I know there are a bunch of new people here, so I just wanted to give that rundown. Now, I'm going to talk about my goals for the year, like where I am with those goals. I hit the first one to go full-time reselling in January of this year because I couldn't take my 9-to-5 anymore, and I just quit. I didn't just quit. I gave them like a whole month of notice, but I did quit. So I actually met that goal in January 31st, 2022, which is awesome. I just couldn't take it anymore, and I just was like, I'm done. So the second goal is my wall of accountability, and you guys saw where I am with that. I have not been successful about, consistently I've not been successful about being able to list the number of items that I sold from the day before and also add value to my store. You know, I feel like that's still a really good goal to have because of the fact that it has enabled my store to continue growing. But because of my disability, like, I'm having a really hard time being able to do that consistently. So I really don't know the solution to that because I can't undisable myself. I really wish I could, but that is not something that is possible. So I think it's just something that I should just continue to strive for. Especially, you know, as I sell more and more items, hopefully, like, it is honestly going to be an unattainable goal unless, like, I hire somebody, and I have absolutely no interest in doing that. But I'm going to keep trying. Maybe we'll get there. My third goal was to hit 10K on 90 days on eBay, and I have still not hit that. I was at 7,000 before I went on my vacation. So in September, I did hit 7,000, which is awesome. But it's not 10K on eBay. And the reason why I wanted to hit 10K on eBay is because I thought that if I hit 10K on eBay, that's roughly like $3,300, and then my return on investment normally after I take out all my expenses is about 50%. So that would cover all of my fixed expenses just with my eBay income, and then all my other incomes would be like my variable expenses. That was my mentality. I don't need a lot to be happy and to live, so still not there yet, but we have hope. The next is the death pile in September. Pretty much everything I listed was from my death pile. I still have a very long way to go. I mean, as I mentioned in my last video, like, I'm only at 262 items out of 1,000. Yes, I put that goal in place because I have over 1,000 items in my house that is unlisted, and I know that for a fact. So I'm still working on that. At least I have started to make progress. I'm going to try not to buy anything. I'm going to try not to buy anything except for maybe books from my book channel until I can get everything listed. So, well, at least make more progress. We'll see. And then my fifth goal is to get 5,000 subs here on YouTube. Again, I know that there's a lot more of you now, but I ended the month of September with 2,524 subscribers, which is a lot. You know, sometimes when you go from month to month, if you do YouTube and you have like the small increases, like October was a huge increase, but in like September and the last couple months have been like small increases. You kind of like feel like you're not doing enough or you're not good enough. Or at least I felt that way, but that's because, you know, I didn't have a great childhood in some respects. So when I look at, I have this book, yes, it's a Stardew Valley book, to keep track of every month, and then also to keep track of every quarter. When I look at how I started this year with, like, I started this year with, on Bob Buys with 1,638 subscribers, and now I'm starting quarter 4 with 2,524 subscribers. Like, I've almost grown 1,000 subscribers, which is actually a lot. Like, you know, I really feel like if you're someone who gets discouraged and you're trying to do social media, do something like this. It has definitely helped put things into a better perspective and made me feel like I am going in the right directions. Plus, you guys also leave me like really lovely comments. Almost every single, well, actually every single video. So not almost, actually. So, you know, I get a lot of encouragement from you guys as well. So I just wanted to thank you guys for being here. And then now I'm going to get into the part where I'm sure all of you want to be at, which is I'm going to actually share with you my net profit. And this is after all of my fees. Now, I don't take the taxes out because of the fact that, again, I've already incorporated that into what I need for the month. So $1,350 is what I need. So if I get there, that includes amount set aside for taxes for the year. So we're going to start like I normally do with my lowest performing platform and work my way up. So I sold on 5 different platforms for this month. I sold on Facebook Marketplace. I made 1 sale and that netted me a profit of $3.19. As I've mentioned before, in this month I've deleted all of my listings on Facebook Marketplace, it's dead. I've heard some rumblings from other Facebook Marketplace sellers that like unless you have a Shopify store, you're not really getting sales, or unless you're doing like local pickup, you're not really getting sales. I don't know how true that is, but I've noticed, like, especially in September, like I had one sale at the beginning of September and then kind of just nothing. Absolutely nothing. Not even like questions or messages. It's crazy. So Facebook Marketplace is dead to me and it is gone. I'm not using it anymore. So this is my last time telling you about Facebook Marketplace. The second performing platform was Whatnot. I actually did not make any sales on Whatnot for the month of September, and you're like, how the heck did you make money on Whatnot if you didn't actually sell anything on Whatnot? And that is because I am considered an influencer for Whatnot, because I have been on the platform since last year. So I was an early adopter, I guess, which is why they let me into the influencer program. So whenever one of you guys sign up with my link down below, not only do you get more, you get $15 in credit instead of 10, which is what a lot of people give when they do their affiliate marketing. I actually get $25 in cash. So a lot of times I've been just spending it on Whatnot, supporting my friends. Like I've mentioned before, like I've bought stuff from Jess and I bought stuff from Matt. So, you know, I use it mostly to spend on the app, but I do actually make money when you guys sign up, and I'm trying to be transparent about that because I try to be transparent about everything. So while I didn't sell or do any live auctions in September, I did make $25 on Whatnot because one of you decided to sign up using my codes. So thank you very much for that. The next platform is Poshmark. Man, I don't know what's going on with Poshmark. Poshmark has been kind of dead for me since they sold to Naver, but you know, we're gonna keep trying. We're gonna keep trying. Sold a total of net profit of $49.65, which, you know, is okay. I mean, that's an extra 50 bucks. That is my water bill and my sanitation bill, so very happy about that. Etsy, like I've mentioned before on this channel, Etsy for me always picks up in quarter 3 and quarter 4. I almost make no sales on Etsy quarter 1, quarter 2, but quarter 3, quarter 4, I love Etsy. It's great. It's one of my favorite platforms just because I can set it and forget it. And I made a total of $110.33. So, you know, $110.33 is my electric bill, and that's awesome. It actually was. It was pretty close to my electric bill. So that's what I made there. And then my main bay, which is eBay, which I say all the time on this channel, I made a net profit of $1,215.07. So, you know, on eBay, I almost made all the money that I needed in order to, you know, cover my fixed expenses, which is awesome and actually what I'm wanting to do. I would like my eBay sales to cover all of my fixed expenses, and then the other platforms, and then like the influencer stuff like this YouTube channel. That's where I want like my variable expenses to come from, if that makes sense. So we're getting there. We're getting there. So speaking of affiliates and all that other stuff, which I guess I should have put the Whatnot in there, but I didn't. That's not how I write it in my book, so I just put it where I had it before. Okay, so speaking of affiliate monies, let's go ahead and get into that. Well, it's not technically affiliate monies, but I do have to thank Jen. Thank you again. She bought me another coffee this month. I really appreciate that. That's incredibly sweet of you to do that. I don't really promote my Buy Me Coffee link. it exists in there in the description with all the other links. And Jen bought me another coffee, so thank you very much. And that netted me $4.30 because Buy Me a Coffee takes their percentage, and then also the payment processing takes their percentage as well. So it's still really, really nice, and that is definitely a coffee. I mostly use the Buy Me a Coffee money to buy Moxie's food. I used it to buy her some of the nice buffalo wet food that she likes. So if you guys buy me a coffee, it goes to the cat. So just letting you know that. So the next income source that I have to share with you is from my anthology. I am about a third of the way through the second edition. I am diligently working on that. I work on it about an hour every day because it takes a while to cross-reference all of the brands. There are a bunch of new brands and some of the brands that have left. So it's quite a bit more work to actually revise something than it is to do it originally, which I did not anticipate. but I am a third of the way through it. It is a donation-based type of product, so it is free if you want it to be free. It currently, the unupdated, so the first edition of this, you just type in 0 and you can get the resource for free. It is linked down below. But some people have been extraordinarily generous and have decided to donate money to my efforts. And for the month of September, through y'all's generosity, I've made a total of $26.40 because Gumroad does take a percentage of that as well because it's their platform. But it was probably the only platform I've seen where I can offer something for free or pay what you want. And it came highly recommended to Matt, and that's where Matt's resource is. And so I wanted to kind of keep things in the same place. And then the next income source and the last income source I have to share with you is YouTube. I did receive a YouTube payout for the month of September. It's actually technically for the month of August and July. Yes, so like I roughly make about $50 a month. So you don't receive a YouTube payout from this channel or from any channel if you're monetized until you reach a $100 threshold. So I got around $50 in July and I made about $50 in August. And so in September, when they actually paid me out because I reached the $100 threshold, I made $104.92. So, you know, this has been really lovely to have as an income source. You know, it's really nice actually to see some of my older videos. People will find them randomly or YouTube will suggest them. So you know, I have a lot of videos because I try to consistently upload, and I have quite a different schedule than a lot of YouTubers that I follow. And it's nice to see that videos I made, you know, 3 years ago when I first started doing this YouTube channel are like actually earning me income, but when I made them, they didn't. So that's kind of been nice. But yeah, in total, my net profit for September is $1,538.86. So I didn't just make my fixed expenses, I made over my fixed expenses by quite a bit of money. Like I went from the previous month of $1,382 to now $1,538. That's a big jump. And part of that had to do was that pretty much all of my, like eBay did better, but also because of the YouTube payout as well. So I am really happy. And if that number can keep going this way, that would be awesome. And then I can just keep doing this because I don't think I've ever been happier. Like, I really love being in control of my time. I personally feel healthier. You know, I've mentioned that I am a disabled creator. I do have a couple of medical conditions that make working a regular job not really great for me physically. And this, since I've quit my job in January, I haven't had to go get IV fluids pretty much all year. I will have to do that for my annual checkup, but you know, I used to have to go every 3 to 4 months. So I've been able to stay healthier because I'm not as stressed out. I'm not like driving back and forth. I'm not having to, I don't know, deal with like a regular 9 to 5. Like this does have its own stresses. You know, I am getting to the point where I'm starting to get a little stressed about money because of the fact that like I'm getting towards the end of the savings I set aside to make this work. But I'm very hopeful and I'm really happy, and I want to continue to be happy and I want to continue to do this. So thank you guys very much for watching these videos. That it does get me closer to that goal, and I hope that this was interesting to you. I do know that, you know, as a full-time seller, lots of people make more. I personally know part-time resellers that make way more money than I do. I am someone who doesn't need a whole lot to be really happy. So this is what I want in my business. This is what works for me where I live. I live in an area where the cost of living isn't as expensive as, you know, California, which I recently, that was quite the shock. So I don't need as much. So I don't know. I feel like I needed to preface that. It's just like, you know, this is just what has worked for me. This is what is going on in my business. to maybe give you guys a point of reference. And I hope you guys enjoy this video, and I will see you in a couple days for another one. Bye. Bye. So I actually met that goal January 31st of 2021. We're in 2022. Oh my God. I made $100.04. No, I made $100. My God.